Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going book shopping. I haven't been book shopping. I think the last time I went book shopping was my last book shopping video in October. I'm due for it. It's time. I have been just like so busy and wrapped up in my move. I feel like I need to treat myself. So we're gonna go shopping today. I'm gonna hit up my usual places, Half Price Books, Barnes & Noble, maybe Target. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling while I'm out. It is very hot today. It is like 95 degrees. So will I look this cute in about an hour? Probably not. Ignore the mess behind me because I am organizing all my clothes. Here is my little outfit of the day. This top is new and I love it. This color is just so pretty. And then these jeans were actually my mom's and I confiscated them. All right, now it's time to go book shopping. The first stop that I made today was to Barnes & Noble. I really don't shop at Barnes & Noble that often. I kind of just like to go there more so for the atmosphere, but there were a lot of books that I was looking for, a bunch of new releases that I've really been excited about. One of the first books I saw when I got there was In the Garden of Spite, and it said that this was about a female serial killer, which piqued my interest. It sounded really up my alley. And then this book, which I have never heard of, but it sounded really cool. It looks like it's sort of a historical fantasy with magic and a revolution in France. Lately, I have really been into nonfiction. I'm trying to read one nonfiction book a month. I'm still very new to nonfiction. I don't entirely know what I like, so I'm having fun just kind of trying out a bunch of different things. Ooh, this is another book that I have really been excited by. I think it just came out. It is supposed to be kind of like a queer military fantasy. I've been hearing a lot of really great things about it. Another new release I've been excited for is Wild Women and the Blues. It's supposed to be like a jazz age, artistic type of book. Of course, I found myself in the horror section. I wanted to see what new horror releases that they have. And this book really caught my eye. I've never heard of it before. And this is one of the reasons why I really love in-store book browsing, because I always find something that I've never heard of and that sounds amazing. I didn't end up buying this book. I probably should have. It's supposed to be like a Western sci-fi, sort of like Mandalorian type of vibes. I'm really regretting not getting it. Oh, this is when the lady who worked there, she was stacking the shelf next to me and she started like asking me questions about the books that I was holding. It was very nice, but I was trying to play it off like I was not just filming a bunch of books like a weirdo. They had a whole display of books on sale. The only one from this area that piqued my interest was Lakewood because I've heard really interesting things about it and it's supposed to be a horror. I took a little perusal through the romance section. I didn't really have anything in mind that I was looking for. I was kind of just seeing if any of the romances caught my attention. And I think I realized that a lot of the traditionally published romances just aren't really my vibe anymore. I'm very much into indie romances and you don't really find those at Barnes & Noble. So there was kind of nothing in this whole section that caught my attention. I did like that they had this display of historical romances. I feel like because of Bridgerton, they're kind of like putting their historical romances front and center. So then I went over to the YA section. This series is so good and so underrated. If you like villainous main characters and monsters, you gotta get on it. I was so surprised to find a hardcover copy of From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I didn't even know that there was a hardcover edition of this book. I did not think Barnes & Noble sold this book because, as far as I know, it is indie published. I also couldn't find a price on it. I was debating buying it, but there was no price, so that kind of made me nervous. Now going to the first Half Price Books location. The first section of the bookstore that I went to was the sci-fi fantasy horror section. I'm curious, has anyone read Mallory, the Bird Box sequel? Because I haven't really heard anything about it. They did have a copy of Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, which I was looking for, but it was like almost $14, which I feel like I could find it cheaper somewhere else. Now headed to the romance section. I was looking through all of their historical romances and I did find some Lisa Kleypas books. The historical romance section at this Half Price Books was extremely picked over. The majority of the shelves were empty because there was just not a lot of stock. So now to the second Half Price Books location. I started in this one in the romance section. This Half Price Books has a much bigger romance section and their stock of historical romances was very big. They had a lot more Lisa Kleypas books than the other location, which I am trying to collect Lisa Kleypas. I ended up having to go back and get a basket because I never get one when I first go into the store because my intention is not to buy a ton of books, but I always end up having to go back for a basket. I found this hardcover of, I think, the fourth Veronica Speedwell book, and I almost bought it, but all of my other copies of this series are in paperback. And then I found a romance book in the mystery thriller section that I was super excited about. And now that brings my shopping day to an end, and I'm headed back home where I will show you everything that I got. Okay, I am back. I stopped at McDonald's and I got a frozen Coke that is now melted. But oh my god, I found so many amazing books. I don't know how much footage I was able to get in the stores. Basically, my technique when I am filming book shopping, because I want to be very like inconspicuous. Although maybe this makes me more suspect. I just walk around holding my phone kind of like low, like this, and I just like film the shelves walking. I don't really even pay attention all the time what I'm filming, and if I'm like pulling anything off of the shelf, the camera gets it. I try to just not be like super obvious, even though that is probably like more suspicious. But filming in public is not easy for me, which is one why I do it with my phone, not my camera. And I just try to avoid anybody seeing me because I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like it would be less embarrassing if I was actually filming myself. But like filming books, I just wonder what people are thinking I'm doing. Okay, so let's start with the books that I got at Half Price Books. I think you guys saw the first book that I found at the first Half Price that I went to was The Echo Wife by Sarah Gailey. This is a book that I had on my list of ones that I have been wanting to get recently. It sounds so good. So it's about clones. It's about this woman who's a scientist and she figures out how to make clones, and she has a clone of herself, and that clone is having an affair with her husband, and then the husband dies mysteriously, and it's about them trying to like cover it up. It sounds so good. I am so excited that I found this. I have one more book from Half Price that's not historical romance. So this is another one. I was so excited that I found this, and that is Prisoner by Annika Martin and Skye Warren. This is a dark romance, and I bought this solely for the reason that my best friend Lainey loves this book and for years has been telling me to read this, and I've never done it. So he is a prisoner, he's an inmate in prison, and she is doing writing classes in the prison. And she really is like captivated by his writing. Ooh, okay, this is giving me Born Darkly vibes by Trisha Wolfe, which is my favorite dark romance. I was so excited that I found this. All right, everything else that I got at Half Price are historical romances. So I got a bunch of Elizabeth Hoyt romances from the Maiden Lane series. I'm trying to collect all these because I really want to read this series. I got Lord of Darkness, which is the 5th book, and here is the pretty step back. And then Darling Beast, which has this awesome step back. I love that one. And then this one, Duke of Desire, which has another beautiful step back, and this one is actually signed, which is so cool. So yeah, I'm super excited to get into the series. I still have a couple more books that I need to get, and then I just want to like spend a week binging them. Then I also found a bunch of Lisa Kleypas books. So I got Worth Any Price, which I think is in the same series as Lady Sophia's Lover, which I really enjoyed. I got Someone to Watch Over Me, which this is a first edition. I don't know if that means anything. I'm still like, I feel like I'm still kind of a novice when it comes to historical romance editions. Like, I know that there's some historical romances where there's like specific editions that are very rare, but I couldn't tell you what any of those are. I don't know, but this is a first edition. Maybe that means something. I don't know. And then this one is When Strangers Marry, which is a reprinting of her very first book. It got a new title whenever they reprinted it. The original title was Only in Your Arms, and now it's When Strangers Marry. Excited for those. And then I have 3 random ones that I got. The first one is For the Duke's Eyes Only by Lenora Bell. I read another book in this series recently and I really loved it, so I wanted to get the other books in the series. Then I got Her Night with the Duke by Diana Quigley, which I have been wanting to read since Jess from Peace Love Books read this and reviewed it, and it sounds so good. I was like really surprised that they had this because I was planning on buying it at Barnes & Noble, like brand new, but Half Price had it. And then the last one I know nothing about, but I bought it 100% for the cover, and that is White Heather. White Heather, is that the name? Yeah, by Helen Lear. It is a Scottish romance between a clanswoman and then the leader of a rival clan, and this cover just like gorgeous. So that's everything I got at Half Price Books. Now for the stuff I got at Barnes & Noble. There was a couple books that I went specifically to buy. So the first one is Dead Space by Callie Wallace. This is a sci-fi horror, maybe? It says an investigator must solve a brutal murder on a claustrophobic space station, which sounds awesome. I love sci-fi horror or sci-fi thrillers. That's like my favorite horror thriller subgenre. And like anything that takes place in like claustrophobic space station or like a deserted planet, those are my kind of vibes. So this sounds really cool. Along with that, this is a book that I had never heard of, but I saw the cover and the title and it caught my attention, and that is Parasite by Darcy Coates, who I know is a horror author. She writes tons of horror. This book I've never heard of before. A guard discovers an unusual life form on her remote moon outpost, and she disregards protocol to investigate, which has terrible consequences. The parasitic alien wears its victim's skin and adopts their personalities. It mimics the way they talk, the way they look, the way they act. It's the perfect disguise. Oh my god, I didn't read that far in the synopsis when I was in the store. Oh my god, this sounds amazing. By the time humanity realizes it's facing extinction, it's already too late. I had to get it. I had to. The next one is House of Hollows by Crystal Sutherland. This is a new YA horror. Oh, what? Oh my god, you guys. There's an ant right there. Like, in the picture, I thought there was an actual bug in my book. First of all, this cover is probably one of my favorite covers of the whole year. This is about sisters who are very strange. As children, they disappeared into the woods for a month and then came back with no memory of what happened. And then their appearances started to change, their eye color changed, their hair went from dark to white. And then now one of these sisters goes missing and the others have to try to follow these clues to find her. They realize that wherever they went missing when they were children is now calling them back. It sounds really spooky. I'm excited. I think that was like my theme at Barnes & Noble. I just wanted spooky books because the next one is Our Last Echoes by Kate Alice Marshall, who is the author of Rules for Vanishing, which was one of my favorite books of last year. This is another YA horror. In 1973, 31 residents of Bitter Rock disappeared. In 2003, so did my mother. Now I've come to Bitter Rock to find out what happened to her and to me, because Bitter Rock has many ghosts, and I might be one of them. So something that I really like about Kate Alice Marshall's writing that I can see that is the same in this book is that it's told in case files. So the first page says the Ashford Files, and then it goes to radio broadcasts, written testimonies, interviews. Yeah, so I'm so excited to read this. I loved Rules for Vanishing. It was super weird, so I'm expecting this to be just as weird. And then I have one more book. Again, this kind of goes with the spooky vibes. This is Down Comes the Night by Allison Saft. From what I know, this is a like dark gothic romance kind of book, and it's about two enemies who end up in this really like creepy haunted mansion, and they have to like survive the night basically, because at night creepy things come out and there's magic and warring kingdoms. It gives me like Crimson Peak vibes. So yeah, super excited for that. So those were all of the books that I got today. I am just so glad that I got to go back into some bookstores and treat myself and have a really nice relaxing day, and I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!